community gathered to mourn Tyre Nichols at his funeral yesterday. They were joined by Vice President Kamala Harris and the families of other victims of police violence. Nichols, as you know, died 3 weeks ago, days after a traffic stop led to a brutal beating by police officers. Elise Preston is in Memphis with more on his funeral services. Elise, good morning to you.
Gayle, good morning to you. Violence against black men has been a defining element here in Memphis, the same city where civil rights icon Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. was assassinated in 1968. 55 years later, the city still seems to be grappling with its legacy of racial injustice.
Tyre was a beautiful person, and for this to happen to him is just unimaginable.
In a series of heart-wrenching, tear-filled speeches, Tyre Nichols' family expressed sorrow beyond words.
I see the world showing him love and fighting for his justice. But all I want is my baby brother back.
They were joined in Memphis by a civil rights legend, the Reverend Al Sharpton.
I know what I saw on the tape, and the tape speaks for itself.
Who invoked Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s death in that same city 55 years ago.
In the city that they slayed the dreamer, what has happened to the dream?
Family attorney Ben Crump suggested Nichols' death could be a turning point.
In this call to action, we establish his legacy.
Vice President Kamala Harris, who was also in attendance, made an impassioned plea for restarting negotiations on federal police reform, which stalled in Congress after the death of George Floyd.
We demand that Congress pass the George Floyd Justice and Policing Act. Joe Biden will sign it.
Floyd's family also attended the funeral yesterday alongside other prominent families of victims of police violence. And Nichols' mother had a message for them.
There should be no other child that should suffer the way my son and all the other parents here have lost their children. We need to get that bill passed.
Among the crowd of nearly 1,000 mourners were the mothers of Eric Garner and Breonna Taylor. Meanwhile, the president and vice president will meet with the Congressional Black Caucus at the White House today to discuss the George Floyd Justice in Policing Act. David?
Elise in Memphis. Thank you, Elise.